In the headlines, multinational task force arrests terrorist food suppliers as police recover weapons in Zamfara state. Constitutional amendment may suffer defeat as 25 states decline voting. Nigeria Center for Disease Control records 973 cases of Lassa fever, 173 deaths. Away from Nigeria, French UN mission in danger as UN Security Council discusses Mali. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. And now the details. At least 40 terrorist food suppliers have been arrested by multinational joint task force operatives. The suspects were arrested during an intelligence operation carried out by troops of Sector 3 of the task force in the Lake Chad region. A statement on Tuesday by the Chief of Military Public Information Office, Lieutenant Colonel Kamaruddin Adegoke, said a total of 466 bags of beans and corn, among other large quantities of food items, were intercepted by the troops. Adegoke said that a follow-up on the operation led to the discovery of another 300 bags of beans and 100 bags of corn, adding that the seized items had been destroyed. He added that in another incident on October 11, troops of 68 Battalion on a joint patrol with the Civilian Joint Task Force along the Malam Fatori axis confiscated 12 bags of fish and 9 donkeys suspected to be used in ferrying supplies to the terrorists hiding in the Lake Chad Basin area. The Zamfara State Police Command has arrested 12 suspects over offences related to banditry, arms deal and political thuggery. Parading the suspects at the police headquarters on Tuesday in Gusau, the spokesperson of the command, Mohammed Shehu, said 5 of the suspects were political thugs arrested in connection with a sporadic shooting that resulted in 1 death and injuries to several others in the state capital last Saturday. The spokesman added that the investigation is in progress and suspects will be charged to court upon completion of the investigation. 4 locally fabricated guns, some parts of an AK-47 rifle, 100 rounds of AK-47 live ammunition, 7 cartridges, a cutlass and a bunch of charms were also recovered from them. Meanwhile, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabor, says Boko Haram insurgency has led to the death of 100,000 persons and the displacement of over 2 million others. He said this in Abuja Tuesday at the closing ceremony of the 2022 Ministerial Performance Review Retreat. Irabor said that the insurgency cost the country 3.24 trillion naira worth of damages. He noted that the insurgency is now restricted to a corner of the territory they previously inhabited, even though they had made some inroads into the northwest. Irabor said that the armed forces had received 2.5 trillion naira in 7 years in budgetary provisions and had been able to increase internal security operations. He, however, regretted that the amount received was just 35% of the armed forces requirement and below 0.5% of the gross domestic product. On the armed forces operations in the Niger Delta, he said militancy had transmuted to crude oil theft. Now, some northern Nigeria groups held formal engagements in Kaduna with 2023 presidential candidates on policy strategies and economic blueprint designed to address existential and contemporary challenges plaguing the North and the country in general. The motive of the idea, however, generated controversy when one of the invited candidates alleged that the group will endorse one presidential candidate who is bankrolling the interaction. In this report, Shafiu Suleiman examines motives of the engagement and whether it will usher accountability in the leadership recruitment process.
The northern groups, consisting of Arewa Consultative Forum, Northern Elders Forum, Arewa Research and Development Project, amongst others, are interfacing with presidential candidates of various political parties to scrutinize their blueprints and policy options ahead of the next year's election. Candidates of the ruling party, the APC Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that of the main opposition party PDP Atiku Abubakar, the Labour Party Peter Obi, amongst others, took turns to present their plans for the region and the country at large. Hakim Baba Ahmed is a spokesperson for the Northern Elders Forum, and Yarima Shatima is the leader of the Arewa Youth Consultative Forum. They both speak on the motives and outcome of the interactions.
We are assessing candidates and helping Northerners to choose. It's not the Northern groups that will vote, it is the Northerner that will vote. What we are trying to do is to improve the understanding of the Northerner and the Nigerian about who best deserves their votes.
There's still room for more interface with other candidates that we're thinking. Already we've been discussing over the issue, so there are possibilities that we might have to give an openings also and give another new date for likes of Al Mustafa, who is from the north, and also other contenders like Shawari and the rest of them to also partake, so that at the end of the each and every of them you would have done justice to him and at least give him a room to also make his own presentations.
Though NNPP presidential candidate Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso absented from the interaction, alleging plans to endorse one of the candidates, the organizers say such is far from the truth.
Yes, he wrote us a letter and said his manifesto is not ready. He has other commitments that clash with the dates. And then he says, in any case, your process, the platform has been tainted by one contestant has compromised us. And we found that laughable. First, we are begging him, please show the evidence that you have.
Northern Nigeria, which comprises of 19 out of the 36 states of the Federation, with a huge voting population, is faced with enormous challenges undermining its socio-economic development, despite its agricultural, solid minerals and other potentials. Shapir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Kano State governorship candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP) and the People's Redemption Party (PRP) have expressed willingness to participate in election debate being organized by the Media Trust Group, owners of Daily Trust, Armenia and Trust TV. The candidates gave the commitment on Tuesday when the chairman of the Media Trust Debate Planning Committee, Suleiman, visited them in Kano. Trust TV correspondent Idris Debrin reports.
According to Suleiman, tagged Trust Nigeria 2023 elections debate. The debate is expected to give political parties and their candidate for the upcoming general elections the opportunity to get their plans and agenda across the voters. The deputy governorship candidate of the NNPP, Amina Abdisalam, said they are looking forward for the debate, while commending the Media Trust Group for all the initiative it has been taken to enrich national discourse.
In the process of the debate, people will be able to sift out, to understand the type of people they have before them. And certainly it will go a long way in helping them in taking a decision as to where to go. We are confident, inshallah ta'ala, you will not be disappointed.
2023, I think it seems to be different. It seems to take a different dimension because you have trust team putting together the debate. You have other media houses and other organizations that are also trying to make issues the center stage of 2023 elections, which is welcoming. On my own part, I believe we have been getting ready for this opportunity even before we knew we were going to contest.
Meanwhile, the police commissioner, Abubakar Lawal, as well as the state director of the Department of State Services, Al-Hassan Muhammad, also assured of their support for the debate, promising to ensure adequate security before, during and after the event.
It's a very good initiative. Yes, in the sense that when you bring out these political parties, they will bring out their manifestos and try to sell it to people. Whoever has pure argument, like I said, who have good ideas, definitely, and is able to convince people that day of the debate convincingly. I'm sure is going to have the upper hand. So it's a good initiative, and we're going to support you toward that.
In the next coming days, the Media Trust Group is expected to meet other political party candidates across Kano State. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
The chairman, Joint National Assembly Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution and Deputy Senate President Ovie Omoh-Agege has lamented that only 11 states have voted and complied with the constitutional amendment carried out earlier this year, while 25 states are yet to consider and vote. Omoh-Agege stated this at a joint press conference on constitutional amendments and the latest developments at the National Assembly on Tuesday. The report.
The Deputy Senate President Ovie Omoh-Agege accused some state governors of interfering in affairs of state assemblies, thereby turning state lawmakers towards themselves for their selfish gains, as a result of which meaningful contribution is yet to be made to the constitution review process.
If there are bills there that you're not comfortable with, vote it down. But to hold it hostage, you are holding the entire exercise hostage, you are holding the entire country hostage. And that's what we're against. And we thought it is right that the Nigerian people, through the media, understand who is holding this hostage at this particular time.
On state policing, President of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, commended the Constitution Review Committee for transparency and fairness.
I can say that this process has been followed up to the letter from the public hearings in the 12 states to the public hearing here in this National Assembly chambers. And Nigerians freely canvass for position on all those issues. And I remembered the position of NLC about the state police was very clear. Check the history of Togri in Nigeria and also insecurity. How do we actually empower political thugs to now become bandits and even become Boko Haram? Check the history very well. It started with political Togri. And clearly, our position is we are not matured for that.
Senator Omoh-Agege, who is also the co-chairman, Joint Senate and House of Representatives committees on the review of the 1999 Constitution, noted that consultants had recommended over 66 bills from the public hearings and memos submitted by the public.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at how bakeries struggle to meet up with running cost. Details of this and more after the break.
documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Here is a reminder of our top stories again. Multinational task force arrests terrorist food suppliers as police recover weapons in Zamfara. Constitutional amendment may suffer defeat as 25 states decline voting. In other news, Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention has confirmed 937 cases of Lassa fever and 173 deaths across the country. This is contained in the agency's situation report for week 40 obtained on Tuesday. The report indicates that the cases were reported in 26 states and 104 local government areas. The center noted that of all the confirmed cases, 71% are from Ondo State, with 33% Edo State, 25% and Bauchi State 13%. You have Lassa fever is a viral hemorrhagic fever and an acute viral illness. The zoonotic disease has a high morbidity and mortality rate as well as economic, health and security implications. Bread is a favorite food for many families, but the rise in price is changing all of that. Bread is now going beyond the reach of the poor. Abdullahi Amadi reports that some bakeries in Katsina State are struggling to survive the harsh economic realities. Here is the report.
In Katsina, over 250 bakeries have collapsed, while about 310 struggling to remain in the business as a result of the high cost of baking materials.
The flour, which we used to buy like 12,000, 11,500 before, is now 27,500, almost to 28,000. The oil, which is the groundnut oil we used to do it, is almost 32,000 plus. Sugar is 30,000, 31,000 plus. I believe these are, and other materials, even the firewood. So that's the reason why there is increment of prices in all the breads for now.
Here, only 3 staff remain out of 42, baking 3 bags of flour daily instead of 18 bags in the past. Even at that, they resorted to producing what they called chinchin bread to meet the demand of the majority that cannot afford a loaf of bread. Why are you asking this kind of question? In any case, this is a business. If I cannot make profit, I have to have a rethink. I honestly pity the young chaps I sacked from this bakery. Bakers are not happy that the government has not shown concern for their plight, which forced many to produce below capacity and downsize the number of their staff. The industry is key to the sustenance of socio-economic well-being of the people of Katsina State, considering the number of people along the value chain. As a leader, if I tell you that I am happy with the closure of some bakeries, I am lying. I urge government to come to our aid. Describing the situation as worrisome, the national president of Association of Master Bakers and Caterers of Nigeria is appealing to government to give them a bailout to prevent the risk of total collapse of the industry.
We are in very serious, challenging situations. The situation is daunting because a lot of our members have shut down their bakeries, about 30 to 40, and it's 5% of our members nationwide have shut down the bakeries and are still counting. The situation is not encouraging at all.
Unless this is done quickly, observers are saying the future of the industry in Nigeria is bleak and poses threat to the fragile peace being enjoyed in some parts of the country. Abdullahi Ismail Ahmadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Uganda's High Commissioner to Nigeria, Nelson Ochega, wants cooperation between African countries in education, trade, tourism, security, and other areas of development for Africa, strengthening for the continent to thrive at global stage. Speaking against the backdrop of Nigeria-Uganda relations and the Uganda National Day celebration in Nigeria, during an interview with our correspondent, the Ugandan ambassador harped on the need for a change in mindset for Africa to do business with Africa. Nelson Ochega says that while trade volumes between Nigeria and Uganda remain slow, both can explore more areas of mutual economic benefits such as dairy production, wheat, coffee, among others.
Let us carry out mindset change. There has always been a tendency for us in Africa to think and sometimes believe that whatever is produced in Africa is poor quality, and whatever is produced outside Africa is good quality. That is not the case. I represent Uganda in Nigeria, but I also cover all other ECOWAS member states. So I am Uganda's ambassador to all those ECOWAS member states. And I've traveled the breadth and the width of West Africa. And I can tell you without any hesitation that our countries here in West Africa produce quality products. But we prefer to buy things which come outside Africa than to buy things that are made in Africa. So to overcome that, we must carry out mindset change.
Away from Nigeria, authorities in Mali say progress in political transition and peace process is unfolding amid a challenging security, humanitarian and human rights situation with severe consequences for civilians. The assurance comes as Special Representative of the Secretary General and the head of the United Nations Multi-Dimensional Integrated Stabilization Mission in Mali, Al-Kassim Wane, said that the security situation remains volatile in central Mali and in the tri-border area between Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger, with a sharp increase in the activities of extremist elements affiliated with Islamic State in the Greater Sahara. He said that such groups are taking advantage of security voids and fighting for territorial control, while also targeting government forces and MINUSMA alike, while stressing the need to restore state authority and rebuild trust with local communities. And that's a wrap on the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.